Good evening. My name is Andrea Bennett, and this is my first YouTube theory video on social learning theory. The social learning theory stems from the perspective aspect of positivism. According to social learning theory, the framework comes from the prominent sociologist Edwin Sutherland. What we know, the history of the theory is, what we know about the history of the theory is deviant behavior is learned through one's interactions with others. To break it down, if an individual associates with people who hold deviant or criminal ideas more than with people who embrace conventional ideas, the individual is likely to become deviant. And to break down what conventional ideas is, it's a widely accepted beliefs and assumptions that most people in society hold to be true. So far in my textbook readings, which this video covers chapter 2, positivist theories, there are three sociologists who have slightly distinctive theories according to their research and studies. Sutherland, differential association, Glaser, differential identification, Burgess and Akers, differential reinforcement. Edwin Sutherland introduced the theory of differential association, which suggested that deviant behavior is learned through social interaction with other individuals. Daniel Glaser suggested the theory of differential identification, which is that the experience of associating with deviance is harmless unless the individual identifies with them. Robert Burgess and Ronald Akers suggested their theory of differential reinforcement, which says that we are motivated to continue behaving in a certain way if we have been rewarded for doing so, or to discontinue the behavior if we have been punished for it. With Sutherland, the theory is named differential association to refer to the fact that deviant association with divine individuals and ideas differ from their association with conventional ones. Defined in this way, differential association is theorized to be the cause of deviance. So Sutherland's principle or belief to his history of differential association posits that criminal behavior is learned, not inherited, through interaction with others, as stated earlier, primarily within intimate personal groups. Individuals become delinquent due to excess of definitions favorable to law violation over those unfavorable. Examples would include learning techniques, motives, and rationalizations. Major tenets, as far as principles or beliefs, when it comes to Glazier. With Glazier and part of his belief, he suggests that defiance is likely to occur if differential identification intervenes between differential association and divine behavior. So his belief to this theory bridges the gap between strict environmental determinism and the individual's subjective active role in choosing behavioral models. Examples would be identification over association, role models, real or imaginary, active choice, situational context, and subject interpretation. Whereas Burgess and Akers' principles suggest that if you are given several options, such as studying hard, going to the movies, drinking in a tavern, and attending a wild party the night before an exam, you would most likely choose the option that has been most satisfying to you in the past. When applied to deviant behavior, the law of differential reinforcement would explain that individuals would choose defiance over conventionality if they find defiance more satisfying than conventionality. So their beliefs is that where they theorize it and they emphasize definitions attitude, meanings assigned to behavior, and imitation, which is modeling behavior of others, as crucial learned components that, along with reinforcement, determine if an individual will commit a divine act or crime. Examples would be reinforcement balance, types of reinforcement, operant conditioning, anticipated consequences are social and non-social. Each sociologist has key applications to the social learning theory, which Edwin Sutherland's key application to his differential theory is understanding juvenile delinquency, gang membership, substance abuse, and white collar crime, which emphasizes that criminal techniques and attitudes are acquired through social networks. Daniel Glaser's key applications to his differential identification theory is understanding media influence, copyright cats, peer-driven substance abuse, and adopting behaviors of idolized figures like celebrities. Robert Burgess and Ronald Akers' key applications to their differential reinforcement theory applies broadly to understanding and reducing defined behavior, particularly in substance abuse, delinquency, and violence, which entails guided rehabilitation programs like token economies and mentoring that leverage positive reinforcement for pro-social behavior. With these, we have the critiques on this last slide, and it demonstrates the three versions of social learning theory, which kind of like concludes this presentation. But you can see that Edwin Sutherland, you have differential association, which leads to criminal behavior. With Daniel Glaser, differential association with his main factor, which is differential identification and criminal behavior. So the differential identification pretty much stems between, it lies in the middle. And then we have Robert Burgess and Ronald Akers, whose differential reinforcement lies in the middle of differential association and criminal behavior. So each sociologists have their own social learning theory,